What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy ABK. Thank you for checking out another one of my weekly Forex and cryptocurrency analysis. I do appreciate y'all for tuning in. So let's go ahead and get this started so you guys know how I do. First things first, I go ahead and start off with just doing the first fundamental analysis. I don't really care. I don't necessarily care about what the news pertains to, but I just want to know when these news events are happening, right? Because I am a technical analysis trader, and I do believe that usually whenever whatever the news has is whatever the news does, it just makes price go to where it was going to go originally faster, right? That's just my opinion. There's no facts based on that, but it's just based on how I trade, my trading style, right? So Monday, 2:30 a.m., we do have Euro news. German flash manufacturing PMI, and so you want to watch for that for the euro. Tuesday, Wednesday, no news. High impact news, no high impact news. Thursday, 7:30 a.m. US dollar prelims GDP. And there's going to be day one of Jackson Hole. I have no idea what this is. So when I don't know what something is necessarily, I'll go ahead and click on these folders to take a look at what it says. So it's annually. Economic Policies Symposium is held in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Is attended by central bankers, finance ministers, and academics, and financial market participants from around the world. The meetings are closed to the press, but officials usually talk with reporters throughout the day. Comments and speeches from central bankers and other influential officials can create significant market volatility. So I think that actually does ring a bell, because I remember seeing that last year and the year before. My bad. I heard some news and my dog over here tripping. Give me a second. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step on it.
It's all right. No, I know my dog was tripping because she hurt her ball. My bad. But yeah. So 7:30 Friday, USD core PCE price index. Not really. I don't really watch for that news like that. And Federal Chairman Powell is going to speak, and Jackson Hole Symposium, day 2. So that's about it's not necessarily super newsy for the high impact news. I only look at the high impact news. I don't care for medium or low impact news. So just going to keep it pushing, and let's go on over to these charts. So first and foremost, I got to change some stuff on here. That is interesting because I don't like having this dark color theme. Nope. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and get things started with the DXY. So going on to the daily time frame, just looking at what I had mapped up last week, was that I wanted price to reject off of the supply zone and continue to the downside to this buy box. That didn't necessarily happen. Price came, well, not last week, but just in general. Price did a double top up over here, acted like it was gonna drop. I thought it was. And if I go on to the lower time frame, I wanted it to do a retracement and then continue to the downside. It didn't do that and just kept going to the upside, So I had some trades that I took L's from naturally, but also what I'm saying is that, and this is just I'm just gonna play off of what I have here for this analysis. So price, we have this weekly bullish candle. Next week would be where we'll be checking out the monthly candle. Let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like already though. This is what the monthly candle looks like, right? The 50 EMA is right there. It still has 9 days and 6 hours left until the monthly candle closes. So this week, this candle closed, and like I said, these are equal highs, right? This could be where price can potentially grab liquidity up here, but it's also like this can definitely keep going to the upside, and I ultimately do want the DXY to go bullish after it's been bearish for so long. It's been bearish ever since like COVID, so ever since that the first, like when COVID really hit, touchdown on March of 2020, the US dollar has been bearish. And so if it's going to break these highs and continue going bullish, I would like to see that. But I would also be watching for this potential of price, just going bullish, like But as of right now, what can we see here? Right now, we see that price could be making a wedge, right? I'm pretty sure that there's some divergence. I'm not gonna speak on the divergence. I'm gonna go ahead and let Peyton speak on that because he's the divergence king. But yeah, so there could definitely be a push to the downside on the DXY if it's going to reject right here, right? If it rejects here. Daily time frame. They make this look so much better. Hold on. Just want to make it a little more accurate. Daily time frame, we have bullish candles, and then we have this bearish candle to close the week. This is kind of looking like how this looked like, right? How there was bullish candles, and then it just left this it did tweezer tops and then ended up dropping, right? So I want to see on the daily time frame some type of confirmation that's telling me that the DXY is going to go bearish. But until that happens, I can't be bearish on the dollar. Like, it's bullish, and it looks like it's just going to keep going bullish to me, right? But again, like I said, the equal highs, they were there, and I'm like, those equal highs, if they remained there, then, and that's what this was. It was just a liquidity grab, which, I mean, the 4-hour candle kind of looks like that might be what it is. And after that, even with the bearish engulfing candle on the 4-hour, that might be what this is. It was just a liquidity grab on the weekly time frame. Did I delete that zone? If I did, I would be like, why? Hold on, let me see what fib this was. Oh, just for a retracement. I mean, I'm gonna delete that because at this point, I'm not really looking for the fib. I'm just looking to see what I'm not looking to play off of the DXY right now. Like, I'm looking to see how this plays out. So these equal highs, price is bullish, but let's see if it's gonna really reject and then push to the downside again. I'm gonna be patient with this, But again, this 4-hour time frame, from what I'm seeing with the price action all right here, is that this is just gonna is gonna push to the downside. But however, price is making higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. This could be the break of structure right here. This could probably be the break of structure, but I'm not really too crazy over it, especially since its price is literally rejecting off of the 50 EMA. So what I would need to see, and this is on a risky move, like I'm probably not even going to play this. I'm probably just going to be patient and wait to see if it plays out, right? From this high to this low, where the bearish impulsive move happened, is where I'd look for 93.642. So I would kind of preferably want to see tweezer tops or something like that on the daily time frame, or some type of like I said, like I want to see some type of price action candle that's going to tell me that yes, this is indeed going to go bearish, right? So from 93.642 to 93.244, that's what I would want to see, right? I'm going to see price literally come back up to these highs and then push to the downside. Until that happens, I'm not looking to trade this. If it continues pushing to the downside, so be it. Wherever it stops, then that's where I'm going to fib and wait for that retracement, I'm not going to just try to sell it right here, especially with this 50 EMA here, because all what this could be, I'm going to go ahead and look at the downside, and I'm going to go ahead and I'll look at you. Let me just see what you said right here. There's always a retest in whichever way it wants to move. So as you said, no need to rush at all. There is absolutely no need to rush, because there's going to have to be a retracement somewhere. But also, looking at the opposite, we can see that price is literally coming to the fib zone for price to continue going bullish, right? So if there was a time that I would try to buy the DXY at this point, I'm not I'm not saying that I wouldn't buy off of here, because even if you go to the 1 hour time frame and you look at this, what does this look like to you? A break, a retest, even though it didn't pull back as far as I would have wanted it to, then it continued going bullish, right? After it's been struggling to break off of this zone, right? It struggled to break it through over here, struggled to break it over here. It broke out, retested on the lower time frames, right? Broke out, retested on lower time frames, went bullish. So I don't think that right here would be a place where price would then go to 93.991. If anything, I'd be watching this more for price to potentially come down to like just like how I have it, like 93.175. That area, that would be where I'd be watching more for. Okay, if price were to go bullish, that's where I would buy it, right? Lower time frames, I'd probably just buy it all the way up to the sell box. That's probably all I would do, just because I want that retracement. But however, like I said, price could definitely keep pushing to the downside. So I'm playing. So, and this is just me going based off of the trend, because right now for me personally, it looks like the DXY either is doing a higher time frame liquidity grab is going to fall to the downside, which I kind of don't think it is, but hey, it's possible. So I'm leaving that up there. But this is me going with the trend currently, and this is what I would want to see on the DXY if I'm going with the trend, not if it's going for the liquidity grab, right? If it's going for that liquidity grab, once this sell happens, I'll look at that and see if it, like, I'll see what the candlesticks and what price action is telling me to determine if it's going to be if it's a liquidity grab or anything like that. Also, I'm gonna look at what Payton says tomorrow, because tomorrow is gonna be probably a much better. We're probably gonna have a much clearer picture as to what's going on, right? So let me make sure what time this was. Okay, this was at 1, so that's not a fake output. So overall, this is what I want to see, is for price to come down to like 93.175. I'm just gonna extend it, but on the currently, like on the lower time frames, to see if this is indeed going to be a stop hunt, I'm going to see if this sell right here. And again, I'm not going to, unless the price action is really there and a lot of other things are lining up for me, I'm not necessarily going to sell this, but I'm really trying to follow the trend. I'm really trying to only follow the trend. I'm just like, the trend doesn't look like it's in a bearish trend, but depending on what the divergence looks like, then that's a totally different story. But with this right here, this is what I'm looking at short term. So long term wise, like basically for the week, I want to see price push down here and then give me some bullish confirmations, because it just looks like price is going to go bullish at this point. And like in the next day or two, like intraday wise, I want to see price do this, go up to the sell box, give me a retrace. Then give me that push to the downside back to 93.246, where I'd be looking to buy, right? So that's what I'm really looking at. Like I said, as far as what I'm seeing, unless this is a liquidity grab, I'm not really looking for the sells on the DXY. So we're gonna see what's up. Let me go on over to arbitrage, go on to the weekly time frame, and this is even more of a reason why at this point I'm just like, right now at this point I'm just looking for buys on the DXY. Right? I've been calling for this buy for weeks. I've been saying that this is called for a buy. I just wanted the retracement for me to continue going bullish. Called it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks now. And then price is just looking like it wants to, it's closed above the mean line. So at this point in my head, I'm like, okay, there's no point in trying to wait for this retracement to happen, because I don't think it's going to happen at this point. I'm still going to leave that open if this is a liquidity grab, like I said, but other than that, like the daily time frame called for the buy over here, retested. I had mentioned that this can just be a retest and price can continue going bullish. on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, because this was on the 13th. Let me make sure if the 13th was on Tuesday, because I don't want to talk mess and I can't confirm that. '13th was Friday, so I would have mentioned it on the 15th. So yeah, I most likely did mention this, like on the 15th. Yep, I would have mentioned it, like, oh, this could go bullish, and indeed it did go bullish. So 4-hour time frame, same thing. It retested off of here, and I was like, yo, could we just reject off of this upper danger zone and RSI line? That is my strategy for this break and retest continuation. So I just wasn't ready for the buys to happen. So 1-hour time frame, it looks like it's gonna potentially call for a sell, but I would want, again, a retracement, a little retracement before it sells. But most likely when the market opens, it is going to call for a sell. And if it does and pushes down, that's cool, because I'm not really looking for sells overall. I am looking for price to come down to 93.175. Wait, hold on. I want price to come down to 93.175 and then go bullish, which so happens to be right around that lower danger zone. So I'm just going with the trend, guys. I'm just flowing with the trend at this point. The retracement on the higher time frame, on this weekly time frame, down to like the likes of over here, it doesn't seem like it's going to be likely. It does not seem like it's going to be likely, because I mean, it just did a double bottom, push to the upside, the breakout on the, so this is basically what I'm seeing that's going to play out on the US dollar long term, like in the next probably like year or two, something like that. Did a double bottom, breakout, retest that neckline, then continuation to the upside. That's probably what's going to happen in like on a longer term type of thing, like in the next year or something like that. Maybe, not too sure, but that's just the way how things look if I'm doing a technical analysis, you know. So let's go on over to Euro USD. I like spending a lot of time on the DXY, because that just sets up what I feel with the other USD related pairs. So basically, same thing with the DXY. And I'm gonna go over this review right now. I was gonna review it earlier, but I'm just like, you know what? Let me just do it now. So this is what I want. This is what I had wanted to do with Euro USD. I wanted it to come to like 1.17335 or wherever, then continue going bullish. There's a possible supplies. There's a, no, not even a possible. This is a supply zone that I wanted for price to retest before continuing to the downside, or for price to just keep going up here. This is not likely going to happen, and this play did not play out. I'm gonna. I don't think I need the supply zone right here necessarily. Gonna leave that zone up though, for sure. All right, so again, just like with the DXY, this still has more room down there, but I'm just gonna do for the most recent time, right? Right now, it looks like price is just rejecting off of this zone, and it wants to go bullish. That scared the hell out of me, no cap. It was my phone. I didn't know my phone was in my pocket because my other phone's right here. But yeah, like Euro USD looks like it's kind of made a double top and then push to the downside. Like at this point, I would really just want to see a breakout to the downside. Like, or I mean, it still has this like down here that it could come down to. Like I don't want to draw this big of a zone, but this is what it literally looks like. Or even this big of a zone, you know, it literally is a huge zone where all this pricing is at. It's a key zone. Like it's definitely a key zone. It's just like really big on the lower time frames, but it is definitely a key zone that we have to watch right here in between. But like I said, at this point with the Euro USD, at this point, I just want to see it just keep pushing to the downside rather than trying to get a retracement for price to come up to the likes of 1.20578. That doesn't sound realistic at this point, in my head at least. There probably is a lot of divergence, don't get me wrong, but like I said, at this point in my head, I don't think that's the play. volume on the daily time frame isn't even quite there for any type of like bullish momentum or anything like that. There is definitely tweezer bottoms right here, and I'll tell you that much. But it doesn't, for me, long-term wise, I'm not trying to necessarily buy this, you know? I'm not necessarily trying to buy this. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly perfect. You said it perfectly, dude. Like I definitely do expect, like let's say for example, for this, because this is where the sell started. Although the impulse really started here, you could do whichever fib you want. But basically, I'm just trying to see this at this point. 1.17636, and then price push to the downside and do a continuation. At this point, that's kind of what I want to see. I don't necessarily want to look into the buys like that for the DXY, because even on the lower time frame, if we're going to the 1 hour time frame, it hasn't broken the structure yet, so I can't confidently, although I do believe it's going to happen, but since it hasn't broken this, it's only making it's only at the equal highs. Let me go ahead and just zone this out. There we go. So I'm just gonna say regular. So it's just looking like it's at equal highs right here, but what I could possibly see, because it's a double bottom, is, hold on, let me answer this. I could put a pending order there with a tight stop. Yep, exactly. And then so what I would do is break out, well, not necessarily break out, but retest continuation. That's what I'm going to be most likely watching for, to see what happens in this sell box, right? Or price can just keep going bullish up to there. We'll see what happens, but overall, I am definitely more bearish on EU at this point, rather than trying to go bullish on it, because I mean, it's just making, going to the daily time frame. Let's just talk about simple market structure. Let's just say, so this is high, low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. It didn't make a higher high here. That's your first warning with the fib. And then it ended up coming back to these equal lows, because the lower lows right here came back up to the equal highs, then pushed back down again. This isn't necessarily showing signs on a daily time frame. Like, just look, not even, no, I'm looking at it from a weekly time frame because I have it all bunched up, but this is not looking like signs for a potential bullish move, first of all, right? I mean, now when I zoom in closer, you can see, I'll get more into detail of it. So the high, low, the high, the low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, equal highs, stop into the upside, but it's literally equal highs because it never closed up here. Then it came down to make a lower low, lower high, lower low, did a push up to the upside. It did end up breaking this. This lower high here, but then when it came up here, it literally came back to this lower low, and it went even lower than that. So again, right now this does not look like it's going to go bullish anytime soon. I should have known that from right here when price was like close to this 50 EMA. It's like nope, I'm not going there. Then pushed lower with this price action, but I could be stubborn sometimes. And I wouldn't have even gotten an opportunity to get into anything, because I mean, unless I would have taken this sell from this high to this low, the retracement to the 60, I wouldn't have gone into it because it didn't even hit my 71%. So there's no problem with that. But yeah, so this is what I'm looking at for Euro USD. I'm sorry for talking so much. Not really. Weekly time frame has been calling for sells. Like I said, it's been calling for sells for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks now. 2 months. Been calling for sells for 2 months now, and every single time I show the weekly time frame, I do talk about it. So, that's why sometimes I don't like going. Well, not sometimes. That's why a lot of times I don't like going up against arbitrage because it'd be right like that. Daily time frame over here, it never called for that sell, so that's another sign right there. I mean, it never called for the buy. It's only been calling for the sell since 16th of June, and it did a break and retest, so I can't be mad at that. 4-hour time frame, it called for the sell right here. I tried to get into the buy right here, but that didn't play out, and it's okay. And this 1 hour, I mean, it called for the buy. I'm not going to try to play off of any buys. I'm only looking for sells at this point. So yeah, I'm not really looking to arbitrage necessarily for any plays. I'm just looking for price action to do this, and then I'll see what arbitrage looks like once price gets up there, if it gets up there. So that's for Euro USD. Let me check out the chat. It's fine with market structure alone. You can be a profitable trader. Absolutely. You're absolutely right, dude. Like, price action reigns everything. 80 USD, I had talked about this bear flag, and I'm like, I'm just gonna watch and see if it's gonna play out right here, but I needed to see a breakout between this supply zone or this demand zone, and I did mention the bear flag played out perfectly. So if you were looking for sells over here, I feel bad for you, son. So just get rid of this fib. But yeah, this bear flag played out nicely, dude. Like, I don't trade AUD USD like that, so I wasn't paying attention to it, obviously. Get rid of all that jazz. Go on to the weekly time frame. Okay, so this zone right here, I'm gonna push down here because it's very much needed at this point. I like what I'm seeing on AUD USD. That it's going on it really does look like it's gonna start going bearish. However, I still do need to see some type of retracement on a higher time frame for me to be comfortable getting into a sell. That's just me with AUD USD. This weekly bearish candle, I'd be insane to try to buy against this unless I'm just looking for like a retracement or something like that. Daily time frame, it closed was a long wick to the downside, but that doesn't tell me anything. The previous days were absolute bearish, so like I said, only thing I would really try to do at this point is just try to get a retracement for wherever this stops at. That's all I could see at this point, really. And come down to this zone, that's perfect because I do need it to come down to this zone. And then that's where I would think of my next move on AUD USD because, man, this thing is just falling to the downside. And it's crazy from this head and shoulders time frame that I thought was going to be pointless, but then it came back up and just did a stop onto these equal highs, then dropped. Although if you look at it from a white call point of view, it kind of makes sense. So, weekly time frame, I want to look at it one more time because from one price really did go and do the digital dash right here. Yeah, that's one thing I was afraid of. From when price broke through this and really went bullish, it's back at this zone where it could definitely start to turn around and go bullish. But again, I am more bearish on this than anything. But I do know that the possibility of price turning around here, especially with that weekly bearish engulfing candle, to start slowly climbing back up, I do know it exists, but that's not what I'm necessarily watching for, right? I don't like it. I think this is just gonna end up doing a retracement of some sort because it came to that zone it's at and then continue falling. So I'm going to be watching for what AUD USD does. Again, I don't really trade it that much. I just look at it because it's just an interesting pair. But yeah, let me go on over to, I don't know what I'm doing. Let me go on over to arbitrage real quick. Since I come over here. Okay, 1 hour time frame. It looks like it's setting up for potential buy. This is something that I would probably play just because AUD USD has been so bearish that I would now expect it that okay, it's over exhausted itself in the bearish state that it's in. Let it start to turn around some, like even if it's by a little bit. Like overall, I want to see the likes of 0.73027 get hit before I look to sell it again. I wouldn't just sell it where it's at right now. Even if you look at the 1 hour price action, so even if you look at the 1 hour price action, it doesn't necessarily look like it wants to buy either. So that's one thing that I'm like watching for, because it did give this bullish candle, then it did that retracement right after. Although it didn't do any like tweezer tops and tweezer bottoms, I just watch for stuff like that. So it's not necessarily quite there yet. So I'm not saying to look for buys quite yet. Until that gives me an alert, which I'm going to set now, I'm not necessarily going to look at this. So long, once per bar close, let's see what happens there. What am I doing? 4 hour time frame, extremely bearish. Daily time frame, extremely bearish. I've shown this so many times within the past couple of weeks. I'm pretty sure someone's seen it. And then this just looks like it's on its way to take profit off of this weekly sell. So that's why when I look at the weekly time frame, because like I tell you guys, once I see that weekly saying something, more times than not, it's gonna do it. Right? Like probably what? Out of 7 times that it'll call for a play, 3 times it'll be incorrect or something like that. You know, I like those chances. So as for AUD USD, like I said, that's all I really see on it at this point. USD CHF. Okay, this is something that I'm going to talk about right now, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it. But so overall, UCHF, I mean, I didn't get into this buy opportunity in here, which I still kicked myself in the ass for all the damn time, because I was like, dang, that was a good ass buy. But get rid of that right there. And this is where I wanted to get a buy entry in. UCHF had better plans than that for me personally. It's like, nope, I'm not going to get in there for you. I'm going to get in here instead. From this bullish move where it broke through these equal highs, the retracement, that's where it decided to go bullish at, which is what I was talking about last week. I was saying that this is going to either play out or Euro USD is going to play out. Unfortunately, I chose Euro USD, which ended up not playing out, instead of getting in this last week, which is totally fine. You know, sometimes you just got to take the losses. If I would have picked both, then I'd be at break even, but I did not. But now I am watching for this potential on UCHF, right? It could potentially, because it's hit the 71% and left the wick on the daily time frame pretty nicely. It could definitely just like leave a like retrace. I mean, it could just retrace right there, especially with a bearish engulfing candle like this. The volume's not with it. The volume is definitely not there with it. But with the bearish engulfing candle, the retracement, it doesn't necessarily look to me as if this is gonna go bearish for a long time. It could potentially come to like 0.91331 when they continue going bullish, because if I then, I'm just gonna go put this right here, hide it, and then boom. If it does retrace, let me put that back up so you guys can see it better. You see what I mean? So, and that's why I like that 23.6, because that 23.6 usually leads back to another fib zone. So that's something to watch for me. But you see how from here, if price does go bearish, that 23.6 is literally leading up to this, like the 71% area. That's why I'm like saying that, okay, from what I'm seeing on the DXY, I want it to go bullish. And if the DXY is going to go bullish, and I want UCHF as well to go bullish, because it's been doing everything that I wanted it to go bullish, like every move is playing out for a bullish move, then at this point, I'm just waiting for price to drop down to 0.91314. and then I'll look for buys there. Because again, I'm not bearish on UCHF by any means necessary. I've been bullish on it. I've just been looking for buys, and I'm going to continue with it. And if it does come back down to this area, it's retesting this 50 EMA, which would be solid. And, you know, beam me up, Scotty. So that's for UCHF. Weekly time frame, it came very close to this RSI line, but it doesn't look like it's going to head there. So I think it's going to keep going bullish. Daily time frame, I do see that it's rejecting off of this upper danger zone, but that's also where the RSI line is at, right? And like price action is just telling me that it's going to keep going bullish. So since price, and again, this is the same thing with, let me go to the DXY and I'll show the same very similar instance. Price broke out to the upside, retested the RSI line, and then continue going bullish. So that's something that I'm really watching for with this UCHF play. I would have, like I said, I would appreciate it if it did drop down to like 0.91344 or something like that before going bullish. It might not, and if it doesn't, it's all right. Like the market, I'm not entitled to anything that the market provides. I'm literally not. Like you always have to remember that whatever the market provides, you're not entitled to it. So exactly, perfect. So it is consolidating right here. Let me go ahead and actually get rid of the indicator real quick and just draw on this. It is giving me some sort of like idea that it might end up going, yeah, you like that triangle, I know, right? This is nothing really. I just wanted to draw that out, but ultimately this does look like it could just like break out to the downside real quick for just a quick retracement. So like break out to the downside a little more and then boom, pop up. That'd be solid for me. Like I won't be mad at that. So I'm really watching it and waiting to see what UCHF is going to do. I would love it for it to just push down a little bit more and then buy, but also like a 4-hour time frame, it just called for the buy right here. This isn't a bad place to buy it at. A daily time frame is not calling for a buy, but it's above the RSI line. It's not a bad place to buy it at, you know. But and also just because I'm waiting to see what this DXY is going to do, that's another reason why I'm like kind of cautious with UCHF. So I have my alert right here for the 0.91314. That's ultimately where I would want price to go to before I buy it. Exactly. I'll depend on the strength of those. Exactly. So S&Ps. So let's take a look at what I was saying that I wanted to, wrong place. Let's take a look at to see what I was talking about with the S&P last week. I was saying that possible move, bearish, bull move, the impulse right here, and for price to go bullish. That's what I was saying that could possibly happen with S&P, or it's going to come down to this zone right here and then go bullish. It did neither of those. So that's the reason why I be saying that I'm not trading this, because for me, it's an unstable market. That's the reason why I say constantly, I'm not trading it. It looks like it's an unstable market. But based off of what I'm seeing right here, this just looks like, it went bearish, a good opportunity to buy it. And then that's just what it looks like from at this point of view right now. So let me just go ahead and delete all this. Go into the weekly time frame. Look at this. This just looks ridiculous, bro. Like, how can you reach these targets? Why would you? Anyways, let me just go. Let me just say it. Let me just go and do my analysis. So, a weekly time frame left a huge whip to the downside. It looks like it's going to do something that it did here, or with one of these weeks where it just wicks to the downside and pushes to the upside. That's literally all I see on this. Daily time frame, 50 EMA. With the 50 EMA, that would have been a solid entry, as we can see count. At this point, man, you're the best strategy to trade these things. When it hits the 50 EMA, just buy it. when it's the 50 EMA, just buy it. When it's the 50 EMA, just buy it. Like that's basically how you should probably end up just trading these S&Ps, because it's ridiculous. Every time it's the 50 EMA, just buy it. Like this was probably the one time where you would have taken the loss out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. It just doesn't. For me, it's just like, what the hell? But at the same time, it makes sense. So, I ain't got nothing for this, because again, I don't trade this. I mean, this is what looks like it's probably going to end up playing out. Your target would be 4544 or 4582 if I were to pick anything, like after this like bullish engulfing candle right here, just put a fib right next to the next candle. I mean, it's just nonsense to me. I'm sorry. This is not my market to trade. That's why I don't trade them, because with that 50 EMA strategy, I mean, I might make a boatload of money off of S&P, honestly. 4 hour time frame called for a sell. Looks like it's about to call for a buy. I wouldn't get into. Dang, this sell played out though. I wouldn't have gone into it, but sheesh. Daily time frame called for a buy on the 1 hour. Yeah, I'm not really necessarily trying to trade any of this, dude. It's just weird to me. All right. Wall Street, US 30, same. It was literally the same thing that I mentioned, but it didn't play out on the S&P. Daily time frame, that 50 EMA got hit, left 2 wicks to the downside. It looks like it's just going to keep going bullish to me. It could have been literally from this move right here, from that low to this high. No, it probably wasn't from there. Well, never mind then. I don't even know. Could be from here, but I wouldn't have played that. I don't know, guys. Like I said, these indices, they're not my market to play. The only thing that I would do is buy low, sell high. Like, honestly, like once it gets these main supports, that's when I would buy them if I were trading them. Like, just draw out the main supports and buy them out. If your stop loss gets hit, just try it again. Because look, let's just say if you were to try to buy it from right here, your stop loss is right there. Oh well, it got hit. You try to buy it right here, stop loss got hit. Oh well, it came back up with this bullish candle. You bought it again right here. You would have made a lot of money, which would have cured both of these losses. Price came down here. You buy, you made money. Price drops. Price came down here. With that daily candle, you wouldn't necessarily get in, but price came in and stopped right there, made a boatload of. It's just weird, but I have my own personal way how I would trade these indices if I actively traded them, but I just don't, because I don't like trading that way. All right, USDMXN apparently does want to go bullish, so there's that. It's been holding at this zone, but it's just so weird to me how this zone held after it's done so many interactions to this zone, like going to the weekly time frame. It's just interesting to me how many times it's interacted with the zone and it didn't try to poke at it lower before going bullish or anything like that. But I can't complain, because I do want this to go bullish. Only thing I'm watching for this week is because from that high to this low, this is literally a place where price can reject from and then go bearish. So I'm watching that for USDMXN, but this is another pair. Again, I'm not really necessarily trading it like that, because it's not super clear to me. Although, again, this right here is a place that I would look to sell it. Just because of the way how the weekly candle looks, I'm not going to sell it. This is just the same as how the daily looks, like it's really bullish. I'm not going to try to sell it. The market came up to it too fast, although it did take it from June 25th to August 20th for it to get up here. So it didn't necessarily get up there fast. It just consolidated and then went bullish up there. So I'm watching to see what USD Mexican is going to do still, just because of how the market has been. I'm still pretty much bearish on it, but I have to wait. I have to wait it out. Not necessarily interested in trying to trade it. But although the weekly time frame, it might finally start to give me this buy call, but I'm going to wait for it as well. Everything else on here is bullish. So that is for USD Mexican. Let's go on over to Goldilocks. Oof, man, gold. All right, let's take a look at what gold has, what we have for gold. So this is what I had last week for gold. I had said that I wanted to see it sell up at this at 1798. Price barely missed it and came up to 1795.600 before it started to squiggle on down. So I'm like, this is a valid area to look for sells on gold, you know. I still do think that it could sell. It is above the 50 EMA on the 4-hour time frame, but that doesn't really mean much to me. That daily 50 EMA is right where I would have wanted my entry at, but based off of the weekly time frame, I'm gonna have to remove my drawings. Hold on. Based off of this weekly time frame closing with like a doji candle like that, I just don't necessarily like last week's weekly candle. Honestly speaking, it kind of terrifies me, to be quite honest. But price is under that 50 EMA and is rejecting off of the 50 EMA on the weekly time frame. So I kind of do want to, not even kind of, I do want to see gold sell right here. Like it's at a zone where I said, yo, sell box. Anywhere, how I usually say, anywhere inside this sell box is where I would look for sells, right? And if it doesn't play out, my stop loss is above these highs at 1830, 1835 or something like that. Not a lot of people have like that patience to wait for price to get up there. But I mean, it just looks like it's gonna, to me, it looks like it's gonna sell. I don't like how it's been consolidating over here for so long. Eventually a breakout is gonna happen, but I do want to see that breakout to the downside more than to the upside. So yeah, nothing's changed for me really on gold. Nothing's really changed. If 1798 can still get hit, that'd be great. I would still take my sell there, but I doubt it will. 1 hour time frame is bearish on here, but it's consolidating market, so that looks ugly to me. 4 hour time frame, it did call for a buy, but it looks like price might end up starting to call for a sell shortly. Daily time frame, I mean, price is still under the RSI line. I would still look for sells on the daily, to be quite honest. And the weekly time frame has been calling for sells. I don't like how the weekly time frame looks on gold. Let me look at what the month looks like. Yeah, this month, I want to see how this month closes for us. This is going to be pretty interesting on gold. But yeah, for me personally, like I said, nothing's really changed for me on gold. I am still bearish on it. It's just consolidating. And if I was in the market with all this happening, I'd be annoyed. All right. Bitcoin. Bitty Bitcoin. It never came to my 40,000 price. So I do expect it to continue going bullish. I'm not mad at it by any means. Because you know what happened? If you were looking at it closely, you could have been like, oh, look, from this low right here, price came down once, rejected, came twice, it was showing rejection again, and why not? Let's try to take a crack at it. And it ended up playing out, you know. You could have played that, but I didn't. But my analysis still stands. Oops, what am I doing? My analysis still stands on what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. I still see this. I can't ignore this supply zone. I cannot ignore it. Therefore, I'm still watching to see what price the market does when price gets up there. The volume is still decreasing as price is increasing as well. That's not good signs to me to say that this market is going to continue going bullish. But again, I'm waiting to see what the supply market, what the supply zone does with the cryptos, right? Nothing's really changed. Nothing's really changed. Daily time frame is still very much bullish. Weekly, Still has a call for the buy. Probably next week, if price does continue going bullish, it will. But yeah, I'm still waiting for price to get to that supply zone to see what really goes down. Ripple, same thing, except Ripple, it actually ended up coming down to this zone that I had drawn out at $1.04, $1.045555, and ended up going bullish. It's at the 23.6, which is, if you're looking at it from both ends, a place where price could potentially drop. I would just want it to continue going. I just wanted to continue going bullish, like I said, from the buy box down here to up there. If you would have gone in at the 71%, I didn't get into this trade, honestly speaking, but it went up a total of 2,391. I don't know why I couldn't count that. 2,391 pips, increase of 22%, and currently is up about 1,600 pips. So, but yeah, we all know pips don't really matter like that, but I do want to see price really come up to the supply zone. Again, I can't ignore it. It's too big of a supply zone. It's too major of a supply zone. A lot of damage was done from that supply zone. So I need to see what the market is going to do once it gets back up there. And the same thing with Ethereum. Ethereum has been the closest to the supply zone. So I'm really watching to see what it's going to do up here at 3,600, but it's still loading. 3,600 still loading. Just like Peyton had mentioned 2 weeks ago or something like that. Let's see what these cryptos looking at on the lower time frames. Dang, this 1 hour played out, surprisingly. 4 hour time frame rejecting. I expect this to go bullish. But yeah, let's see what happens with these cryptos. I just want to see them climb up to those supply zones, and then I'll decide, make big decisions, right? All right, so GBP USD from this sell, it's just been terrorizing and destroying. I wanted this, what I had wanted on GU last week was to get this retracement up to 1.38328, which was basically retesting that zone and then continue to the downside, but that wasn't the move, just continued falling. So, can't be mad at it though, because that is exactly what I wanted it to do. I did want it to continue falling. So, at this point, it's about to come to these equal lows. You just got to wait and see what the market does, right? I don't necessarily want to try to buy right here. And I just expect price to continue falling. So, there's nothing really big for me to talk about on GU, except that I expect it to continue going to the downside, right? I don't have an entry point. I don't have any. Obviously, if the 1 hour stops right here, then I'd be like, okay, so from this high to this low, I'm waiting for price to come up to 1.37332, and then I'll look to sell it or something like that. But I'm just being patient, and I'm going to wait for GU. I'm not going to talk too much about it. Everything on here is bearish. Daily, 4 hour, the weekly time frame is finally calling for that sell. So based off of arbitrage, so these are the moments where now arbitrage is the play that I look for. Although it is these equal lows, and that's why sometimes when it comes to these wicks, you have to be like, okay, this looks like a wick that's going to get filled up. This looks like a wick that's going to get filled up. This doesn't look like necessarily a wick that would have got filled up, but this, yeah, you just got it's just weird. You have to be intuitive with that type of stuff, but retracement, continuation, that's what I expect. That's what I want, but from what price looks like and how I just know how arbitrage is, this looks like it's going to keep falling, realistically speaking. So even if you place a sell stop right over here, like at 1.35580 or something like that, I wouldn't hold it against you, because that's what it looks like price is going to end up doing. Daily time frame called for a sell. 4 hour time frame called for a sell. 1 hour time frame is setting up for a buy. This is probably the only thing I would play would be like the retracement, but again, a retracement only for it to continue falling. So that's for GU. GA has been crazy. All right. So this obviously is not a supply zone. That's a demand zone at that point. The demand kicked in on GA because AUD USD was falling. So GA is interesting. It's been going bullish. At this point, ooh, hold up, wait a minute. I like where price stopped at. It's an interesting point because if you draw out of the zone, you can see right here is a place where price had ended up dropping before it broke out. But this a zone that's been respected multiple times in the past. I'm watching to see what it does. But I'm not, GA isn't necessarily a market that I would be trying to trade at this point, honestly speaking. Let me see what this looks like though. It still has a far ways to go. The 4-hour time frame, extremely bullish right here. GA annoys me because if you're gonna swing it, you have to swing it for a very long time. Like from right here, see what I'm saying? Like you would have to swing it for a very long time and not get stopped out at break even, and then price continues going bullish. You would have to really swing it. That's why I don't like trading GA, especially swinging it, because I'd be holding this for a long time to get stopped out only to see it go bullish again. But yeah, you know, GA was really in a bullish market, and even with the times that I did try to sell it, I made money off of it, but got stopped out at break even. It's okay because it's not a market that was looking to sell. The 1-hour time frame did call for a sell. I mean, this looks like it's just going to keep falling at this point. The 4-hour time frame, it is definitely very bullish. Daily and weekly time frame, very bullish as well. I mean, the weekly time frame hasn't stopped ever since it called for a sell. I mean, a buy right here. It has not stopped. And the monthly time frame, it's at the upper danger zone. So, yeah, GA is one of those pairs that you're better off like intraday trading it rather than trying to swing it or anything like that at this point. GBP JPY, man, this went ham. GJ went ham. So from when I called this sell, it's basically at where I would have said like, okay, like make sure you take 70% profits or something. 306. I'm pretty sure this hit 373 pips total. That's crazy. That's fire though. I had probably taken my profits like up to like right here because I did not have a good week last week. So I'm just being honest with that. What am I doing? Okay, so overall, GJ, I just expect this to keep falling. Like it could retrace right here a little bit, come back up to 151.911, but I would have to see price action that's telling me that that's what it's doing. But other than that, GJ just looks like it's going to keep falling to the downside. So there's not much I'm saying about that. Why am I on the monthly? Weekly time frame looks like it's about to, and it looks like same thing with GU. It just looks like it's about to call for a sell very shortly. But again, break, retest, continuation. That's how I play. Yeah, I would, if you're gonna try to buy these equal lows, then I would just try to like not scalp it, but like just trade it for a day and be done with it. Like at that point. 4-hour time frame, it is setting up for a potential buy, but I'm not looking for buys in this market. In the GJ market, I'm definitely looking for buys here. Except for if I get this type of call where it's just like a small retracement, then yeah, for sure, I'll take it. But I'm more looking for sells than anything. Oops. Long, once per bar close, create. Well, that is for GBP, JPY, and Euro GBP to end it all. Didn't get that retracement. Not that I'm surprised about it that we didn't get it, but I did want it. So this supply zone, it did not hold, didn't get the retracement. Price ended up going bullish, but that's good because I did want EG to go bullish overall. Like remember what I was saying right here, daily time frame. What this was well, what I wanted it to be, and what it just still, especially for it breaking this lower high right here on the daily time frame, fake out, push to the upside, retracement, continuation. That could be something to watch out for. But again, with the way how the other GBP pairs are looking, I just expect this to continue going bullish for a little bit before it actually decides to retrace. And it's probably not even going to do a full retracement like how I want it to do. So this is a place on EG, however, that you would want to watch out for, because it could literally it is just like with GU and GJ. It's the places where they could literally just turn around and then do that retracement. So if I were looking for sells on EG, it's kind of like at this point I want to play with the GB pairs like arbitrage, right? EG, I'd want to wait for this sell call to play out before I get into anything. And quite honestly. So I'm going to short once per bar close creates. So I'm going to look for that sell on EG. Let me go over to the 4-hour time frame. Yeah, 4 hours is very bullish, so I'm not going to try to like buy it or sell it. Daily time frame hasn't been caught on the buy, but it's just because it's a consolidating daily. That's not what I want to look at. And the weekly time frame, it's setting up for a buy, but it has a long way to go. So with that being said, like I said, with EG, I'm just going to probably just look for that arbitrage play, because I don't want to try to sell off of this when the market is obviously bullish after breaking, like I said, it broke through these this higher low right here. So I'm gonna wait and see how things play out on EG. But with that being said, any other pairs you want me to look at, bro? If not, then I am. Or any questions that you want to ask? I didn't get you. I'm sorry. No, I think you're good. Okay. All right, sounds good, bro. All right, well, if that's the case, then I'm going to go ahead and hop off. Thanks for hopping on, bro. And this is going to be up on the YouTube later on. So later, dude, appreciate you for hopping on. And for those who check out the analysis, I do appreciate y'all as well. Let's get this money this week.